Okay, we are ready to start. Tonight is our regular select board meeting. We start at 6 p.m. Town of Newfane. The agenda for tonight is quite lengthy, but we will deal with everything we can. And it is Monday, August 17th, 2020. We have Mike Fitzpatrick, Chris Williams, Juanetta Powling, Administrative Assistant, Marion Dowling, who I am, and we have Doris Knechtel, Lister, Jay Wilson, Road Foreman, and Archie Clark. So welcome everybody, and we will start by calling to order, which we just did. First is the additions and amendment of the agenda. Is there any addition to the agenda? I'm sorry, I also forgot to mention that Shelley Huber, as of now, is not here, and Angela Sanborn is absent tonight also. So
the only addition would be the town tax date.
town tax rate?
Mm-hmm.
Not the town tax rate, the payment
The date.
date for the first payment.
Oh, okay. And will you be mentioning that, Doris? Or-
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Tax date, okay. The approval of the minutes, and I would like to take a minute before we go into that to just mention that Juanetta was having terrible problems with her computer on and off for the last several months. And she called me on Friday to say that once again, she couldn't get on the computer all day, and she was very concerned because she is very organized and makes a big packet for each select board member to have in front of them for our meetings. And she offered to and actually delivered every packet to all 5 members' households. And I really think that was very wonderful and gracious of you to do that you went to and you came to everybody's house and delivered the packet in person. And so I thank you very much for doing that, Juanetta. So we are going to start with the approval of the minutes for July 6th. Is anybody?
Make a motion approval.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? So the approval stands. Next is the approval of the minutes for July 20th at our regular meeting. Is there a motion to do that?
Make a motion to approve it.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Okay, any discussion on those minutes for July 20th? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I approve. So that passes also. The next minutes are from August 3rd, and that was a meeting that we had to suspend because we only had a quorum of 2 people here. And we needed 3 people. So at about 11 minutes after 6 on August 3rd, we ended the meeting. So there's a short set of minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
I think because neither
Oh, right,
one of
because
them were
my-
here, we'd have to table it and,
Next week?
well, there was only 2 of you here at that meeting, so you really can't approve them.
Right, it was Angela and myself.
It says on this minute that I was here and I was not here.
On the 3rd?
Yep.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. No, it says
We're
absent.
absent.
No, Chris, look. It
Yeah.
says absent. Mike, Christopher, and Shelley. Here, absent.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
So do you want to table that till next time?
After.
You won't be able to approve it.
Right, okay.
Because there won't be a quorum of people
Right.
present at that meeting, so
Okay, so
it
why
would
don't
have
we,
to stand as
Not
unapproved.
really minutes.
okay, so, we'll wait till the next meeting for that.
There was some
Okay.
form to be filled.
Road foreman and road commissioners report. Jay and Chris, please.
Well, this is the recycled report from the last meeting, but I'll add a couple things to it. Daniel's Construction is making good progress on the abutments on Monroe Bridge, and I enclosed a photo. At this point now, that abutment's been poured, and they're working on the second one. So they're coming along fine. The new radar sign is in place on Dover Road in Williamsville, and it's been working well, and I told you about the information from that sign. The Depot Road culvert easements, I have an update to that. They've been approved. So I passed it on to Bob Fisher to go get them signed from the landowner, so that's moving ahead. I did a webinar Vermont Local Roads did on invasive roadside plants, and they covered some methods for slowing down their spread and best practices for highway maintenance. It started out kind of slow with plants that don't really bother us, and then they got into the knotweed and the poison parsnip that we do run into, so it was good. We've been continuing with grading and culvert replacements and ditching, and I now have the drawing from Bell Engineering for the spillway at King Pond. And actually, Mike and Christopher looked at that this morning.
Okay.
And since then, let's see, we have a spot on River Road, where the sheep farm was, that the bank keeps eroding there, and we're gonna have to do a repair. So we're trying to come up with different options for, it's gonna be about 100 feet long, maybe 9 or 10 feet high. Come up with some sort of plan for that. We had a couple of culverts cleaned with a jetting machine, which is basically a high pressure pump. And one of the culverts is one we have never been able to clean with a fire truck or anything, and cleaned it like it was nothing. I mean, pretty slick. So I had mentioned the guy that does it was trying to sell his machine for $6,500, and I talked to these guys about it. It would come in pretty handy. It also works on frozen culverts. So didn't know if that was something you guys were interested in.
So
Yeah, like
some-
we was talking about this morning, you said about it the other day, and I told him I thought it'd probably be a pretty good thing to invest in for him. You know, and so did Chris. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, for that kind of money, and I mean, by the time you take backhoes out and dig them all up and dump it, don't take long, put $6,000 in it, and this thing blew it right out like it was nothing, you know. And then I decided you could probably rent it to like Dover, some of the towns, or maybe some of the other towns that be a little responsible that ever needed something like that. You could send a guy with it, you know. But I think it'd be a pretty good thing for the towns.
Mike, is that something we need to vote on?
I make a motion,
now, wait, go ahead, Mike.
I'll
ahead.
make a motion that we get the money, we've got the money to purchase it.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion?
I
All
just
those
wanted
in
to-
favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it, and good for you. You'll be able to buy it, and thank
Where
you.
is the money coming from? That's my question.
Jay had it.
We have money in the capital equipment fund. We can take out $6,500 out of there.
Okay, all right.
Good. Very
Um,
good.
I think that was it. I don't think I had much else.
Did you wanna just go over that? Just a little bit of a briefing look on that sign thing with the speed, you know, the percentage, like we were just talking about, just so it goes on the TV things, and other guys that are always saying we're going too fast, it
So-
makes a difference.
In the last 3 weeks, we've had 15,800 cars go through that one lane coming from South Newfane into Williamsville. And of those, 13,549 were in the acceptable speed, which is they said to allow 10 miles over the speed limit is still considered acceptable. So 35 and under was what 13,549 cars were. So it seems like a pretty good percentage of cars that are staying within that. And that's giving you their speed when they first see the sign. That doesn't include the people that then slow down to proceed through. So,
Right. So it seems to be working.
works very well. And I can change the reports to anything imaginable, time of day. It's pretty sophisticated.
Yeah.
Turn it on and off, I can have the display blank, but it's still recording their speeds. So if we want to see, if you shut the sign off, if it makes a difference, it'll still record your speeds. So.
So I
Well,
think
that
it
sounds
satisfies
very
some of the
good.
people over there, you know?
Yeah. I know when I come down South Wardsboro Road, I see the sign,
Yep.
slow down. And
That's buying
It's a
that
good-
certain
it's a
sign frees
really
up so we
good
can have it over
reminder.
here some, so.
Yeah, is it working there too? Good. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your report. Chris, do you have anything to add? Okay. All those, will somebody make a motion to accept Jay's report, please?
Make motion to accept that.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. And no opposition, so thank you very much. Your report was very good. Next report,
Do you wanna do the bids
Gotta do the
now?
bids now.
oh, the bids.
And it's in that top folder.
Okay.
I'm gonna call Angela.
Okay, well, let's explain this for a minute, please. Would you like to explain what we're doing?
Because there's no quorum tonight, we have to have Mike recuse himself from the process, so the other board member was willing to be contacted by phone in order to be part of this process, so the decision's being accepted to call her during this process.
Okay. And you were talking about having V-Trans look at this also?
Oh, I have to.
have to.
He turns it over to Mark after they're open.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just read them out and then he gives it to Mark and then he goes to make sure things.
Okay. So you want to wait for Angela? Can you excuse yourself?
Hi
I
Angela,
did it,
I'm
just
gonna
trying to
put
stay
you on
away from
You want to
speakerphone,
go
okay?
outside?
No, sorry.
Thank you very much.
I can still
You
see
have
the
to-
room.
What?
Yeah, he's all right right there.
You okay?
We're gonna be 6 feet away from each other, so. Don't want to give anybody no disease.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
You know, we can't vote on this anyway.
No, we're going to read it.
Yeah, right.
all right,
Okay.
here's the first one, please.
Do I just read the
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
figures? Okay. This first bid is from Daniels Construction in the Scutney, Vermont. And it's dated, it's dated August 17th, which is today. And the estimated project cost is $28,650. Estimated completion date is September 30th, 2020. Entire project must be completed by that date. The bidder is Neil H. Daniels Construction in Scutney, Vermont. The authorizing agent is Scott W. Sweet. And it says that crush approximately 350, is this, what is this, CYS?
What's this for?
3,500 yards. Thanks.
Down to 1.5 inches.
3,500 yards.
And material add $20,250. Crushing completed by end of October. Okay. Okay, the second one is from Fitzpatrick Excavating. The estimated project cost is $21,000. Crushing gravel is $24,500. It will be completed by September 30th. And again, the entire project must be completed by September 30th, 2020. The bidder is Fitzpatrick Excavator from Wardsboro, Vermont. And it is signed August 17th by Mike Fitzpatrick.
What was the total of that one?
Well, the total estimated cost is $21,000. And the other from Daniel Construction is $28,650.
Okay.
So now, are we
You
making?
have one more.
You got one more, that is correct.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see this here. Sorry, we have Archie Clark, A.S. Clark. Can you do this for me? Open it for me, please. Thank you. Okay. This is from A.S. Clark and Son in Newfane, Vermont. Estimated project total cost, $29,750. Estimated completion date, September 30th, which is when the entire project must be completed. It says crushing of gravel piles, Newfane Town Yard to 1.5 inches. Estimated completion date, October 31st, 2020. And it says here 22,000.
So that's a separate issue, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the three bids. And I thank everybody for applying for this.
When these bids are gone over by, the state man, the crushing the gravel and, digging out of the river, they're two separate things.
Okay,
So, one bidder might get this part, another bidder might get this part,
I
but
see.
as long as everybody knows it's two separate.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's very good to know. Thank you for explaining that. So, are you going to take this or Jay?
I'll need to make copies of that
Oh,
before.
okay.
I can do that before the meeting.
And after it's been gone over by the state, when Ella will know, then she'll can tell whoever.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Angela, for participating in this.
No problem. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
So that's it with the bidding. Is that correct?
Do you want me to scan those to Mark or give them to one of the guys?
Actually, no, I'll take a copy tonight and then I'll have them, I can already have them down tomorrow.
Okay.
Do it early.
Is there anything else about Jay's report, or are we ready to approve the road commissioner and road foreman's report?
You already approved the
We
report.
approved it.
So we're moving on to administrative, treasurer's report. And Melissa's not able to be here tonight. She wanted to be here. There is a lot of information, pages and pages of copies of what she's done for the first half year. And because she's not able to be here, I would make a motion to table all of this until our next meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor of tabling the town of Newfane's treasurer's report, please say aye. And I say aye. So, that's it. Administrative assistance report. Winetta, please.
Okay, so since June 22nd, I've experienced significant issues with the computer for a number of days following each of the storms in the area. Dan from Two Wired Guys has assisted me, Bauman's assisted me on another occasion, but today was a serious issue and we could not get the motherboard to work, so we ended up replacing it today at Staples for $830. I've placed in your select board packets the drafts of all the policies, the financial policy. The only change that was needed to be accepted or adopted was that Newfane does not accept wire transfers as an acceptable form of payment. Everything else stays the same and had no editing to be done. The animal control policy is the same. We just need to re-adopt it because it had not been done since 2002. I've included a copy of the letter that was requested that was sent to our local and state representatives expressing concern over the swimming holes. I received one email from Jeanette White and 3 from citizens, 2 of them in support and one a little bit sarcastic. But otherwise, I think it's, it's being accepted as a necessary during this time.
They're still using it though, right?
Yes.
They
They said the
are,
only thing they did is close down the edge of the road, but the swimming holes are still open.
right.
Yeah.
So now they just park down
They're parking along the breakdown lane on the right-hand
all the way to
side.
Archie's garage.
Mhm. Yeah, it's been amazing to see all the cars.
I've included in the correspondence some of the samples of information that we've received that I have not shared with the select board. There's the Vermont Emergency Management Executive COVID Response Report. There's the Governor Scott mask required executive order. And as of July 24th, there was 52 new cases reported in Vermont. I know there's been at least 4 or 5 others since then. I did sign up and attend the Peter Welch, Congressman Welch's webinar talking about federal funding for municipalities. There were 71 other attendees, and there wasn't a lot that I feel that Newfane would gain from applying for any of the grants. I don't think we were affected as much as other municipalities were. And that's about it. Other than the computer's on its way to being replaced.
Well, I have a question that I'd like to ask Jay, since in your report you're mentioning the fact that V-Trans did close the parking lot for the swimming holes. So people have asked me, and since I'm not sure about the laws, I would like to ask you and Chris, how come they are still allowing cars on the other side of the road? That is the question everybody's coming to me with.
I've heard the same thing.
Apparently they can't stop people from parking on the side of the road.
Uh-huh.
It's a breakdown lane, that's what I don't understand.
That's
How-
what people are saying, that's a breakdown lane, and what happens if you need to park
Stop.
somewhere in an emergency?
Stop right in the middle of the road.
They said on one of the things I see on their report was they wanted to stop them because of the depot intersection. They made it blind. I almost think the buckets coming up the road now is more blind, trying to see people walk out than it was before. I mean, I would have thought they only leave the swimming hole open. They could have blocked off the shoulder and left it so they could have parked on the grass, you know? Filled the grass spot up first, and then if they still needed the road, which they do, I mean, like I said, they advertise that the swimming hole is still open. You can park on along the road, but you just can't pull onto the grass in lot, which the state owns.
It hasn't stopped people from not social distancing or wearing masks.
No,
They
nothing,
still don't wear a
no.
mask and they still don't social distance.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what the hole's like up above, but down in the river, when you go down by it,
Mhm.
you don't see them crowded right there together. I mean, people are either swimming in the brook or they're, I mean, it's like families or whatever.
Right.
I mean, you don't see like 50 people all in a group right there. I don't know, like up above, it could be a lot more crowded, but like I said, they didn't stop none of it. It's just, like I said, within buckets there and all that, I almost think it's worse, you know? But coming down through there when you see cars or whatever,
Well,
or as far as traffic.
I do feel, personally, I feel appreciative that V-Trans did respond right away and did something about it. Unfortunately, it hasn't deterred people from coming, and then the question has remained that why are they allowed to park on the other side? And I didn't know the answer to that.
I mean, I think a lot of people that park on that side that are going up above, they do come from out of state probably every day. But I think, like I said, to the families and all them people, I mean, you go right around. Every house up here is full.
Mhm.
I mean, people are moving up out in cities, and
Right.
I mean, if they got second homes, they're living up here
Right.
right now. They've been here since it started. So I mean, I guess like them kind of people probably can't treat them much different than what we are, you know. I mean, we all want them when it is busy. I can't blame them for moving out, you know, down there. If I had a house up there, I'd be here. Said the other night on the news, 300 people a day moving out in New York City.
My concern is the safety of
Yeah.
the rescue workers that have to go down there and drag some person out of there.
Yeah, the upper parts. Right.
Yeah, the upper part.
Mhm.
Right. But as I said, they haven't stopped any of that.
I know, but that's where the problem lies.
And I don't know if they're gonna, and I don't think they can. So I don't know if it's. I don't know.
It's also making people walk, you know, when they park all the way down and they have to walk up to the swimming holes, they're walking in the street, in the road,
Mm-hmm.
which is also very dangerous. I mean, I guess they do that anytime, but now it's just many more of them on that side.
Because I mean, you do see a lot more people on the lower side now that are families.
Mhm.
And like you said, they all jump out of their car way down the road and
Yep.
come lugging up through their tubes and all this stuff. Where, like I said, if they're gonna have the thing open for swimming, I would have thought they'd at least left it so they could have parked on the grass.
Right.
You know, at least there'd been 75 cars in there. Close that one shoulder down if they're worried about the intersection. That's what they said they were worried about, but I mean, like you said, what we was talking about was the safety of the rescue, have to climb down on bags up above.
Well, the climate is changing. You're getting more and more people every year to these places.
Yes.
Halifax Gorge, they shut that down. They used to park there right on the side of the
Well,
road
they did have
too.
Pikes Falls too.
Pikes Falls. I know my daughter went up there to go swimming and she saw that the town had closed that now. But that's not on a state road, right? It's a town road.
So I don't know what the answer is, but I mean, I guess they tried.
Fall's coming.
They'll get cold.
I don't know, when I did that bank up there, that ledge there, going up there, it was snowing out still. Must have been kind of cold that day swimming, but
Okay, so we have approved, did we approve your report?
No.
No, we did not. All those in favor, please say aye.
no.
We first have to have a motion.
I make a motion
Thank
to
you.
approve it.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Winetta. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, your report has been approved, and we are now going to schedule the members of the public. And we have Doris Knechtel, who is a lister with us, and she has something to report.
I don't have anything to report. You put an ad in the paper for a lister to appoint someone as a lister, and you have no response. So I think you have to advertise it again. I think you have to put it in more places so more people see it. I think the only place you put it was in the Brattleboro Reformer
And the website.
and the website. And a lot of people don't read the Brattleboro Reformer. A lot of people don't go to the website. I suggest you put it around more places.
Would that front page forum, would that be a?
Front page forum, any place you can think of to put it. And also,
Commons. Put it in the Commons.
sure, put it in the Commons. And also, you know where you post your minutes?
Yeah,
Put a big title at the top that says appointment of lister, put the information down and put it on a yellow piece of paper so they'll see it.
okay.
Because something eventually is gonna have to, you're really looking for somebody who's a data entry person. You know, that's on, and the lister has to live in town. We have some ideas about how to rearrange what's going on in the lister's office for the town of Newfane, but you're gonna have to vote that if you don't have 3 elected listers. Because this March, you're gonna have a 1-year term for what's left of Dennis's term and then you're gonna have a 3-year term. So you're gonna have you're gonna be looking for 2 other listers. Frank's term is, he's got 2 more years after March, I think it is.
So
Can
what are
you-
your suggestions on a lot of things like this? I mean, you know, it's really coming down to, people just don't wanna, they don't want this elected stuff. It's not really like a full-time job for some of them or whatever, you know, and I mean, it's hard to get anybody interested. Like I said,
I know.
these younger people, you know what I mean? You can't blame them. They can't afford it, you know? They can't afford to come here for so many hours a week or
Well, I have
whatever.
had somebody inquire who does not live in town. In fact, I had 2. I had another one today who inquired and wanted to know if they had to live in town. And that's where we might have to change and get a data entry person.
Doris, for the sake of the people who are watching this, and will see it on TV in the next day or so, could you please briefly describe what the job entails, what a lister is? Some people, or many people might not understand fully what the job.
Not many people understand what a lister has to do.
That's right. So if you could
You have
explain.
to create a grand list. And and a grand list is the value of all the properties in town, which means that in Newfane, the 1,400 parcels, you have to have a value for them. Some of them will change because they put additions on, or somebody's building houses, or we've had a lot more new house applications this year, Merle says, than we have in a long time. So you have to know how to use the assessment program, which is Assess Pro, how to go out and look at those, come up with, and then put the data entry person puts that information in the computer to come up with a value. We usually, what we do is we compare and say, well, I don't know, maybe if we use this instead of that, you know, classify things a little differently to see what the value is going to be, because sometimes it might come up, we think it's too high, you know, the way we put it in, so then we might make an adjustment when we're putting in the stuff.
Mhm.
And then after you get that grand list done, and there's a lot of stuff you have to do with the other program that the state is currently using from NEMRIC. Now that's going to change in 2022. That's going to change. We're not going to be using the NEMRIC, but there's current use you've got to keep track of. This, which Newfane has 92 people that are in current use. It's a
92
detailed
what? I'm sorry. You have 92?
in
Few
current
places,
use.
taxpayers.
92 properties that are in
You
current use.
figured up to what?
Hmm?
How much did that come up to that time? Remember you said it one time there. The value of that.
Looking at your town report.
Now,
Or
like on that current use, I was kind of wondering about that. How does that work? I mean, with current use.
they have to apply to the state.
Yeah,
They have to have, if it's just land, you have to have 25 acres.
acres, yeah.
If you have a house on the land, you have to have 27 acres.
2 acres goes a house, yeah.
They have to hire a forester to do a plan, and they decide whether some of it's forest production, non-forest production, if some of it's in agriculture.
Who
And
pays
it's-
the tax on it then? When you drop the tax, because it drops the tax rate down.
We get some money from the state on that, but we probably only get the town on that. The state gets the education tax on that.
Right, so I mean, it's
But
not,
I don't know that it's,
it drops considerable anyways.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's one guy that's appealing, and the value of his land is like $84,000. And it's just land. 36, 37 acres. And it's in current use. It gets reduced because he's in current use down to $50,000. So that 33 something $1,000 he doesn't pay tax on to the town.
Right.
There's some people get some really good benefit from the whole thing.
Right.
But they've got to do, if they're doing they have to do a new plan every 10 years. I mean, there's,
The thing I got at, because I've been arguing about that thing for quite a while. I mean, when this all started out years ago, and what it was meant for, it was a good idea. It was for like the farmers
correct.
and stuff like that, so that they could keep their family farms, and or the timber companies that bought a lot of timberland. The thing that gets me is, you know, it's dropped over the years, the acreage to 25 acres. And what I get at it, pretty hard to manage a timber forest on 25 acres of land where you've got to cut that thing. I mean, you know as well as I do, Archie, it's really not a producing the timber on 25 acres where you could go in and cut that every so many years like they want you to cut it and market it and stuff like that. I don't see how they do it. I would think, and like you said, and then everybody comes in and does it and keeps the house 2 acres out of it and drops their value right down. And the argument I was told around here was, oh, the state now pays us for it. Well, they don't pay the full value of that tax on that, not that I know of, but,
Well, we do get some from,
well, I get some,
yeah.
but nothing like, I
The
mean,
town gets some.
because I think I remember last time you talked about, when we was talking about this whole current uses, $55 million worth of real estate in this town. or something like that to come out
It is.
to.
If you look at your town report.
It's a lot of money.
If you look at your town report, it's.
And that night when
on
he
the
was, when
411
what's his name
report,
was here,
you'll
the
see
one,
what
the
it is.
forester, he said he just signed his 1,600 customer up in Wyndham County. Well, we got 90 in this town at 55 million, and there's 1,600 in Wyndham County, just Wyndham County alone. Just imagine the whole state.
Yeah, you call the state and ask them.
I'd like to, but I'm just saying, you know, if that money was all thrown back in, everybody's taxes would be a lot more affordable.
That's true. But
You
there
know?
are some people that get out of the current use too.
I think it
I had
shouldn't be
2
any,
people that get out of it this year.
I think, oh yeah, because they probably want to sell off, so they both,
Well, no,
they
some
get
of
out so they
you
don't have to.
Well, you don't know why, the reason.
Well, you
why.
don't, but I mean, that's why a lot of them do, but I don't think it should be less than 100 acres, you know what I mean?
Well,
Because like I said, it's pretty hard to manage a forest on 25 acres of land.
You can be in current use, for current use agriculture with less than 25 acres.
No, maybe, yeah, dairy farm or something, yeah.
So, you know, those are their rules, and those are the rules they've had forever, and they keep tweaking them and tweaking them, but that's
Right.
one of the things the lister has to keep track of. Guess
Okay,
what?
I have another question. Hopefully we will find people who are interested in applying to be a lister. Who will be doing the training and how long a training period can they expect to have?
Now, do you think it will be Frank Saponsky doing the training for the computer?
No?
I'll be doing that part. There's 2 computer programs that we use, and the other, Frank is really good at going out and being able to look at property and see.
So he
because
can
he's a-
show that. He can do that.
He can deal with that part.
Mhm.
So between the 2 of us.
So what,
And how long is that training?
yeah,
Well, you'd think it's gotta, I'd say a good, because it's a part-time situation. You know, the lister's office is open for the public 4 days a week for 4 hours a day, except that I'm in there a lot more than that. So a person, if you're gonna be training somebody, you know, it's, when somebody's learning on a learning curve like this, you know, they could be working 24, 25 hours a week for training what's going on. And Frank and I have both been talking about changing how that whole office is gonna work after the person that's been there for a lot of time has gone.
Well, I think it's gonna come to the point like we tried to do here a few years back with this town clerk and everything, where it's all hired
Well,
instead of elected, you know, because it'd be more like a real job, they'd get the benefits, even
Yeah.
like the part-time, you know. They could come
That's-
out and work, you know.
That's why we're gonna be suggesting, that there be a hired person to do the detail work, you know, the computer work, the computer input. And that could be as much as 30 hours a week. Talking about an assessor, because I know over in Dover is Linda Sherman, and she has an assistant helping her. She's not an elected lister. And then they did have an assessor too. An assessor is, you know, we're talking about a lot more money for the listers. At least double the amount of money that we have in the budget right now.
does this job that's available with us, will the person get benefits?
No,
No.
I don't get any benefits.
You don't get, okay,
No.
so I
Yeah.
want that to be
If you
public.
change, we don't work, your benefit package in your personnel policy talks about they've gotta work 30 hours, but these are elected positions, so,
Well, I just want the public to know that,
No, there's no
Everything.
benefits,
no.
I don't even know if you take tax out unless you want them to pull it every week, would they? Do you take the tax out?
Of course.
Well, I mean, you don't have to, you could take it and you pay your own tax, right?
No.
Cause you're on a salary.
No, I'm not, I work hourly.
Well, I guess, all right, well, the treasurer and all them are X amount of dollars
No,
per year.
It's hourly,
You guys, all right.
yeah, it's a part-time job, hourly. Current rate is $16.75 an hour. Most towns more than that. For that job, at least $20 an hour for that job. As part-time. Now in Wilmington, they have, the person who was a data entry person used to be one of their listers. She doesn't live in Wilmington anymore. So she's making $25 an hour. They've got 5 listers, she does all the input, the data entry stuff. But they're looking for somebody too for that position because she's gonna be busy.
Well,
It's a very important, very, very important job because if you didn't have the people that care about it in the lister's office, you wouldn't have the grand list that you have now.
Well, that's what I say, I can see it coming to the point where it's gonna be have to hire
Yeah.
hourly rates, you know, so many hours a week, whatever it's gonna be, because, with the benefits, because, I mean, look at what we, you know, dog catchers, the whole 9 yards right down through, every time somebody gets off, we have one hell of a time trying to replace it.
Right.
Even the board of selectmen, you don't see a line of people for that, you know, anymore. You know, nobody wants to get on it,
They're not knocking on the door saying, please.
you know, they're sure they'll in it for the money.
Well,
But it's-
we're putting together a plan to make a change in how it operates there, more in your way of thinking of hiring people. But you've got to vote on that
Yeah, it has to be voted at town meeting.
at town meeting.
You have to form a charter or something too, wasn't it, or something like that, or you had to do it? Didn't we have to do that like
I don't
that?
think you necessarily have to have a charter to do it.
Can you tell us by when you would like to have somebody
Last week,
2 weeks ago.
last
2
month?
weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
That's all.
ASAP.
I mean, you can spend 2 weeks trying to train them,
Oh, more than that.
just to get them on board.
Something
sit
different
down.
comes up all the time. Cause see, I'm still gonna be there for a while. I don't know if I'll still be there in March or not, but, I'd like to have somebody come in so that I would have time, I'd still be working in there and still have teaching them, because we're only 2 people right now and we're supposed to have 3. So as soon as somebody can be found, then the sooner they can get training. Because the training's gonna be for as long as I'm still in there.
So the very important thing now is to post this job opening as in many places that we can that are appropriate. And we should do that this week.
When's your next select board meeting?
Well, that's a question because
Labor Day.
it's Labor Day, the 1st, so we have to vote on that tonight.
Why don't
Actually,
you have people, if you get this out there, tell them they've got to apply by the 21st of September. And then you're gonna have to do interviews, you know?
what?
You're gonna have to do interviews for the people
Oh,
who
yeah, of
apply.
course. While we're on the subject of the next meeting, I think we should talk about it right now for a minute. Because our next meeting, the first Monday in September, is Labor Day. And I know in the past when I was on the board, and I don't know what happened last year, we used to just do it the next day on a Tuesday. Do you want to vote on that, please?
Sounds good.
Sounds
That's all
good,
right.
Tuesday? Okay, so,
It wouldn't bother me, you can have it that Labor Day, but they don't let you go anywhere now anyway, so you can go on vacation or
okay, so Labor Day
the
is
7th,
late this year, it's September 7th.
7th, that's why we.
so the 8th.
So it'll be the 8th, 6
Yeah.
o'clock.
I will make note of that.
And that's a Tuesday. Okay. Anything else that we can help you with? I thank you for coming back here tonight. I'm very sorry about last week, and I'm sorry that,
Me too, last week, 2 weeks ago, yeah.
right, I know. And Frank was here last week, and I'm sorry that.
Well, I had this sick, and I had my old corona thing tested, so everything come back good there.
I couldn't walk.
I
My
heard-
back went out.
I heard that. No, I don't blame anybody, but there's only one person that never responded, so, hey, can I tell you? It was a
Well-
nice meeting though, anyway, we got to talk about Ted Schreier.
That's right.
About the
Oh, yes.
painting.
Yeah, that's a nice painting.
Look at this beautiful, beautiful painting by Ted Schreier, who was a lister and a surveyor and other
Fence viewer,
fence viewer for many, many years.
yep. He got a 50-year pin
Right.
for serving the town.
Oh, were you suggesting, somebody suggested, is it possible if we can get a copy of that and frame it?
I have the actual pin.
Do you have the copy of the certificate?
No, we don't have the copy. Frank's looking
Okay.
up at their house.
Oh, he is? Okay, good.
But we might be able to get one from the state.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Okay. Well, Doris, if we're complete with conversation for tonight, we can move on. Or is there anything else you would like to add?
no, I'm here to also say something about the,
Okay. So thank you very much for that, and we will make sure to get the position posted in several places, and
She's also gonna talk to you about the tax date,
yeah.
the new tax bill.
Do you want to talk about that now?
if I may, yeah. Nice to see you, Archie.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Archie.
Good.
We don't have the education tax rate yet. Last week, we heard that it was gonna be today, but for sure tomorrow. So the tax bills haven't been done, printed up, until we get there. Now, originally, we thought we were gonna get it
For the 8th.
so that we would have the tax bill sent out in the first payment. It's the first payment you have to decide about. The first payment we thought was gonna be able to be on September 8th. Now we're saying, okay, if we get if we get the tax bill sent out by the 20th or the 21st of this month, we've gotta have 30 days for the first payment, first quarter to be due, so that if tonight you say either the 21st or 22nd will be the date for the first payment for the taxes. And that goes on the tax bill. We put it on the tax bill. The others will remain the same. There'll be, if it's on the 21st or the 22nd, the next payment is gonna be due on October 15th.
Wow.
That doesn't change.
Christ.
Well,
Start putting your money away.
you know,
Saving.
it would have been August 15th. Right, you already would have had to pay the first, it would have been due August 15th, but we can't do anything about that.
So are we to vote on this tonight?
Now, you voted for the 8th, but that doesn't work anymore.
Now, not to bring up a conversation I was not party to, but did Melissa talk about whether or not she was in a position to apply for loans until we start getting those? Did you?
I don't know if she's done that or not. She was gonna call and I don't know.
That was something that she. had
Because part of it is, you know, you have to pay the state. They like to, for the taxes,
They want their money,
they want their
no
money.
matter if you have school or not.
And Melissa she's gotten some tax money already, and she's gonna be giving some people have come in and paid and have a credit toward when the bills come out. So I forget how much she told me that she's gotten, but there is people that are paying just so that they aren't slammed in, you know, September, October.
I don't know what they do with that whole school thing. If they don't have school much this year, they still want that full value, huh?
Absolutely. No question about it.
There's more people calling in, so they're not sending kids up, homeschooling them.
I don't know what they're doing with that, but
Oh, I said actually at a rate of $22,000 a year per kid for grade school. For preschool and up, it'd almost be better to offer the family, I'll give you 10 grand, you stay home with your kid. You got 2 or 3, that's 30,000, that's almost a salary for one parent.
yeah.
And we just saved 30,000 on the budget. Yeah, teach your own kid, yeah, you're gonna be home anyways teaching them.
Well, that's not always the best, for some kids and some parents, it's not always the best.
No, but I mean, that's what I say, but there's a lot of them doing it.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I think $22,000 is ridiculous for a grade school kid for tuition.
I saw something, not too long ago that probably 10, 15 years ago was half that,
I'm sure it was.
half that.
I mean,
Now,
you're up almost college fund money.
3/4 of your tax dollar that you spend now goes to education, only 1/4 goes to the town.
How much of it?
1/4 of your tax dollar, so your first payment goes to the town.
Right.
The other 3 go to the school for
But
education.
all I'd like to know is how much
That's how
that,
it is.
what I'd like to know is how much that school money comes back to the town. You know, that 3/4 that we send to the state out of our
Wow.
taxes, how much of it does the town actually get back to run our schools down
They
there?
have magic formulas.
I bet you'd be surprised.
If the public really knew, something would be done.
Well, we should know, really.
I know.
But we don't. So,
I mean, they should tell you.
anyway,
So Doris, do you want us to
I want you to make a motion.
make a motion?
For what date?
You said either the 21st or 22nd?
Either one.
Okay, would you make a motion?
Of August?
September.
For the first payment to be due.
That's in
Is
August.
it
right?
September
Or
or?
September.
September. For the
20.
first payment to be due in September.
22nd,
22nd?
could I say?
Okay, motion for September 22nd, first payment. Any other conversation about it? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
I guess so.
See, because we have to have the 30 days. We have to
Yeah.
send them out 30 days before then, so.
Okay, so we have 3 ayes,
Good.
which means the motion passed. The motion is and
Thank you.
passed for, the first date for taxes this year will be on Tuesday, 22nd of September. Thank you, Doris.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And we'll work hard with you to try to get the word out and,
And I'll, I've talked to a few people too, but, can't even convince them, I don't know. But if you hear of anybody, but it's
Yeah.
gotta be somebody who really wants to do it and not, we've had people that say, oh, I'd love to be a lister because I can go out and look at houses. Well, it's a heck of a lot more than that.
okay, we don't have any unscheduled members of the public. So we're up to old business. The first one is the review updated financial policy and the checklist for internal control.
What is it?
Wait, there was something,
The original policies are in front of you, next to the green folder. The only change that was, it's in the order of the agenda. So the only change that was made to any of the policies was that Newfane does not accept wire transfers as a form
Right.
of payment.
We
And
have to sign all of these right now?
Thank you,
Yes.
good night.
Thank you, Doris, for coming again.
Don't forget your water, hon.
My water? Oh, I could use it tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
got it.
You can make a
Thank
motion
you.
to accept it and then
Yeah.
sign it whenever, but that was the only thing that was changed.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to accept it
Second,
with the change.
okay.
second,
Second, any conversation? All those in favor, please say aye. This is for the trustees of public funds investment policy, town of Newfane, and it was just one sentence change about wire transfers. And there's a lot of pages to sign.
There are, because there's different policies in the financial policy.
Okay,
There's the balanced budget, there's,
right.
acceptable means of this.
So, do you want to do this after the official meeting to
Sure.
sign?
when we're doing the payroll stuff.
Yeah, okay, good.
All right,
Oh, we gotta,
so in accepting that, are you going to accept the checklist for internal control? Need a motion for that, please.
I make a motion to accept it.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The treasurer
And that's
will be
signed
happy.
here, whenever, this is,
No, the checklist is underneath the pile that you already put back. It should be one of the last.
so what we have in our packets, this is the fine,
That's the checklist. That one's the one that needs to be signed tonight for the treasurer.
okay. Okay. Next item of old business is review updated policy for animal control for board approval. And we do have that in our packet.
There was no changes in that. We just need to re-adopt.
Make a motion to readopt it.
Okay.
Second it.
Okay, any conversation about this, discussion? Okay, all those in favor of re-adopting the animal nuisance control ordinance for the town of Newfane, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, the ayes have it, and we'll adopt that policy. Next one is municipal checklist internal control.
That's the one we just discussed underneath the financial.
Right,
So that one, you just have to make a motion to accept that one? Oh, you did that one?
yeah.
All right, so
Okay, the next one is sign wage increase for fiscal year 2020 to 2021.
that was voted on at town meeting. It shows the breakdown of the hourly wages for your employees, treasurer, town clerk, and the highway crew, as well as Jay and myself. But it was all part of the budget that was voted on at town meeting. It's something that Melissa needs for her accounting purposes.
And where is that? We have to
It's-
sign it, right?
It's in that
Do we
pile.
need a motion to sign it, or just go?
Yes.
I make a motion to sign it.
I'll second it.
Okay, and all those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the last one is employee annual reviews for road foreman and administrative assistant.
I don't think that come out very favorable for the road foreman. But we'll probably keep it.
Well, I understand that Mike and Chris did the review with Jay.
Yeah.
And that's great. Thank you both for working with Jay. And my guess, because I haven't seen it, is that I'm sure it's excellent review. Am I right or wrong?
Good.
Yay.
You can pass that down to her. She hasn't seen it yet.
Okay, I'll look at it. Excellent, Jay. And thank you, Chris, for doing it, and Mike working with Chris to do it. It's good to know that everything has been very impressive with your job. Thank you, Jay, very much.
Well, it's just like anything, like I said, there's a lot of, today's world, there's a lot more stuff to keep up on every day.
You're right.
With the whole state thing, there's a lot of paperwork. And with the grants and stuff like that, he does an excellent job.
Yeah, that is so great. Thank you. Really. And then administrative assistant, that originally was voted on, or not voted on, but where are you, Juanetta? You come here. Originally, Angela and Shelley Huber were going to do the administrative assistance review, and it turned out that Shelley was not available to do it, so I stepped in. And so Angela and I met with Juanetta several weeks ago, and we did the review together. And we were going to pass it out last week at the meeting, but there was no meeting. So in the meantime, I had asked Juanetta to just put it in the file, and you're gonna put Jay's in the file too, right?
Yes. That's, you can pass one down to Michael if he wants to see it. I made him a copy, but you can keep that one, Marion.
Oh, that's for me?
I have a copy, the original in the file.
Okay, and when did we do this? Oh, this is Jay's. Where's mine? Review. Review. Thank you. Okay. So, just for the audience at home, the residents of Newfane to know, we have great people working here in the town of Newfane. And we're a very lucky town. Very lucky to have everybody working on staff as either an employee or an elected official. We have a great team here. And thank you both for your hard work and successful work. Okay. New business. Do we have any new business?
No. Not unless you want me to contact.
No, we don't need to do business tonight.
Contact the newspapers about the lister's position.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and post it wherever it's gonna be posted.
right, posted, and
Instead
the
of-
commons,
I think if she wanted to help you do it, let her help.
Okay.
yeah,
So we want to follow up next time with.
yeah.
this. Okay.
And I can help you post things. Okay? Possible projects right now. Does anybody have a possible project they want to bring up? I don't either. I think right now the project is to get through each week healthily and safely for everybody, and to follow the governor's rules and regulations about masks and social distance.
We've only got a few more meetings before budget season starts. I think that's
Oh, shit.
Do that.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet every week until the
Well, my
next.
daughter said
rest
it was
of the
only
year.
19 weeks before Christmas. And that just blew my mind.
Okay, correspondence. Juanetta, is this it?
The next one down. No. It's under the green folder.
Oh, I see.
These were just some things that I received. That one doesn't need to be opened.
It does not?
No.
Oh,
Open the folder.
okay.
These are just some things that I received throughout the weeks that I haven't shared. One is a invitation to participate in shaping the Vermont State Police approach to policing. I think that's coming up later
That's the
this
one.
month.
The first one.
Mm-hmm. And then there's one from Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation, helping connect 375 businesses with personal protective equipment and the federal relief program. That was part of their highlight. And then there's 2 newsletters, one from supporting healthy organizations and the other one's messengers and leadership newsletters.
There's a letter from Pete Van Loon.
Yep.
Whoever wrote this is not up to date with Kansas City. Pete Van Loon,
You can take and pull that off. I think that's from HCRS. Is that accepting?
Yes.
Thanking, yeah.
it says, "Dear Mr. Loon, I'm writing to thank you and the residents of Newfane for their vote on town meeting day approving financial support in the amount of $1,850 for health care and rehabilitation services, Access Navigator program. We sincerely appreciate the support from the citizens of Newfane. These funds will help us ensure services for all the citizens who are in need of them. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. This is George Karabakis. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name properly, George. I apologize. Chief Executive Officer, sorry. And this is in Springfield, Vermont. So Winetta will have this on file. If anybody's interested, please call Winetta or come and see her. Okay, this is a letter from Charlene Gallaranu and Don Tucker. Again, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your names well. You are on Newfane Hill Road. And it says, "Dear Selectboard, we write to express our gratitude for the responsive and competent work done by the town of Newfane road crew yesterday on Newfane Hill Road. About 9:30 a.m., a large ash tree branch fell down, knocking out the Southern Vermont Cable Company wire to our house. We reported it to Southern Vermont Cable, and soon Sam from SVCC and Jay Wilson from the town were on the scene. Soon 3 more town of Newfane crew members were there. They deftly pulled down the branch, cut it up, and moved it aside. The internet service was restored, all told, in about 4 hours. Thank you, town of Newfane, for such good work. And respectfully, Marlene and Don." That's a great letter and great acknowledgement.
That's
Thank you,
one thing we're
everyone.
gonna miss with SV Cable not being there is they contacted us, dropped the wire down, we got rid of the tree, and then we've been able to work together with them really well.
Is that when we all lost power?
No,
That was the cable just to that house or 2 up there, I think was that one.
Okay. Well, it's very lovely when people take time out to show appreciation, and you deserve it, definitely. Okay. So we have the letter from the Lieutenant Anthony French from the State Troopers of Vermont. And should I read the whole letter? Would you be interested?
you don't have to for my account. But Mike wants it.
Okay, so this is a letter just inviting people to participate in shaping their approach about policing across Vermont and in your community. And again, this will be in the correspondence file, and anybody who's interested, please come in and ask Winetta to look at it. And again, if anybody wants to make copies of any communications, these communications are all open to the public. However, there is a fee for making a copy in the town hall, and I think it's 10 cents, is that correct, a page?
Per page.
But everybody's welcome to do so. And that's it. That's the end of the correspondence.
Do you want
So-
to mention that you have those small?
Oh, no, I'm
buttons?
sorry, wait a minute. Yeah, we have like the Covery.
We also received today from the state of Vermont a supply of 400 masks. They are a little bit smaller than what we're used to, but they're here.
They should go to the school. There's nothing, you can't wear
An adult is having difficulty wearing them.
And they're here in this building?
Yes.
So Chris is suggesting we donate them to the schools?
them. I mean, no adults can wear them.
No, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
What do you think? Good idea, thank you, Chris. Okay, I think that we are now officially done with the meeting. And so we say good night and thank everybody for watching. And thank you, sir, for doing an excellent job with filming us every week. And have a good week and be safe and healthy. And everybody have a good evening. Good night.